This Friday night, Heart of St. Charles.
Heart of St. Charles Banquet Center, and it looks like we're going to have 14, 15 fights. We've got some really good ones, some interesting matchups. We've got guys from 135 to just about 300 pounds on there, so we've got an exciting card.
Tell us about that heavyweight match. That sounds like a doozy.
Well, we've got big Ryan Sturma coming in out of Burgers MMA tonight. He's going to be one of the guests, and he's working his way down to the 299 mark. I think he's 2-0, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, and his last couple fights have been over 300 pounds, and he's been working his way down. And he's going to be fighting Big Sidney Littleton, who's another one about 285. So a couple really big boys in there. It's going to be an interesting fight.
Good fight.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, Sidney's been on the short end of it, once from a disqualification, and once he got caught, like what happens sometimes. He got caught in Alton on his last fight in a choke, but he was winning that fight the whole way through. So he's a good, capable, tough guy, you know. So it's going to be an interesting fight.
Now, is the fight still on with Tony this weekend?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so Tony Wolf, husband of Jen Wolf over there.
Yes, and
taking on the very dangerous Mark McLean.
yes.
Mark the Mutant McLean out of the Danger Room. Mark's undefeated right now, as is Tony, and so it's going to be an interesting fight at 185, and that's going to be for a promotional title. There's actually 3 title fights that night. One of them is going to be a Muay Thai K1 fight, and then we've got 13 MMA fights. So it's going to be a really big card. I mean, I'm excited about it.
Tell us about the Muay Thai K1 fight that you got coming.
Dave Callow, who fought on our last card, and actually Dave Callow, who did an MMA fight against Steve Dietrich, who's highly ranked with us, and he went into the second round before he got caught in a triangle. And he's more of a stand-up kid. He's going to be a great MMA fighter when he learns his ground even more.
Yes, he is. When he learns.
He's the welterweight champ for us right now, and he's moving up and fighting middleweight against Justin Wohler. So that's going to be an exciting fight. I love the Muay Thai, you know I do.
Yeah.
And but we've only got one this time, and it's so funny, you know. People are always like, oh, you know, we don't want, you know, some people don't want much on there, and then this time I had 14 MMA fights lined up and 1 kickboxing, and everybody's like, well, how come we don't have more kickboxing?
No,
We
you
want
gotta
more
keep
kickboxing.
kickboxing because it's part of your show now. So,
Yeah.
and the matches that you've had in the past have been, you know, very, very good, very exciting. So,
Yeah, it's going to be good. There's a couple of them that I'm really looking forward to. I've got a friend of mine, Rob Miller, who's making his debut, and I used to bounce with Rob at a few different bars around town a few years back, and he's a prison guard over in Illinois, and he's making his debut against Mike Richter, so I'm real curious to see how that one goes.
okay. Mike Richter did really well in his last fight.
He did. He's, I believe, 2-1 now, and that's another 185-pound fight. The other one I'm excited about is, you know, and I'm not sure how this one's going to go. You know, Samir Polofovic is a good, tough fighter. He's coming off a loss, and Eli Neese is maybe not as skilled as him, but Eli's won 4 in a row, and he's got all the heart in the world. So they're going to be fighting for a 170 promotional belt, and we'll see how that one goes. It's on paper, I think maybe Samir looks a little more skilled, but, you know, Eli's bringing that win streak, and to him, this is the biggest fight of his career. He's excited. You know, I mean, he's training his ass off, and he's working hard.
And a lot of it depends on how Samir's training also.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah.
Samir's training hard, I can tell you.
You know? Well, I mean, he always
He
does,
always
but,
trains hard. I mean,
but sometimes there's extenuating circumstances where they just can't train that well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I got to work out with Samir last Thursday actually, and he was just wow. He was on top of his game.
I know he's so talented.
He really is. So it's going to be a tough fight for that kid. I hope he brings his A game. He's going to need it. But you know, like you said, he's got a win streak going. He's very excited for this fight, and we hope to see a good one.
At least he's wanting to go after the big boys.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you got to say it. You know, the guys down at Blind Dog MMA, they are always looking for the good fights. I mean, Demetrius, before he fought Carlitos, fought a guy who had like 30 fights or something like that, you know, coming in with 2 or 3 fights himself.
Right.
So, I mean, those guys are really game guys. I don't know if they're always taking the best fights, you know, but they're really game nonetheless. So.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see a couple of the other guys on there, too. I mean, we're going to have a lot of guys out of Full Contact Fitness this time out of Troy, Missouri, and I know that their trainer, Doug Sauer, just got back from doing the big tryout there for the UFC. And so they're a real capable team. We've got a lot of CMMA guys on the card again. That's good to get Elvin spot on there again.
Who you got for Elvin?
You know what? We've got Chaz Pellison, who's going to be out of there. I was just going to check and see if the door was going to be open for these people to
Well,
get
we
in.
got more visitors. Some people heard about Tuesday night. Welcome to the show, guys.
Who let them in? What's going on, guys? Looks like we've got Sensei Jay D'Amato. And
CMMA looks like they just got done training, decided to come to the show.
Yeah, Steve Knoble.
All right, cool.
And Lori Donovan, how are you?
Lori's out there. They're checking out the food and beer in the
And
green room.
looks like a couple of
Save some for me, Lori.
Johan and Eric.
Johan Slaughter just walked in, and Eric Vasquez. So yeah, Eric's going to be fighting his second MMA fight. He's actually
You got Eric on the card?
He's been on both of my last two cards. He did a Muay Thai fight his first time, and then he's come back and fought his first MMA fight and won that, and did a really good job. So he's looking for his second win. And Eric's a popular fighter. He brings a big crowd with him. He's a lot of fun to have on the card.
He's a great fighter. He's really exciting to watch, so I'm glad you got him on this card.
Yeah, me too. He's one of the good guys. He works real hard, trains real hard.
My key's out there, Jay.
So yeah, we've got, like I said, I've got guys from 135 all the way up to about 300 pounds, so it's going to be an exciting card.
A wide range. A
Wide
diverse look.
There you go.
Now, is this guy Ryan Sturman on your card as well?
He is. He's fighting Sidney Littleton.
So he's 125, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
He just came in and you can't see the other side of the room suddenly. So.
You can hide a 125 or behind him, I think, without any problem. But no, his first two fights were over 300 pounds, and he's working his way down to the 200 and something pound range. So we'll see where he ends up.
That's the way to do it.
And he trains with Steve Berger, who's one of the better trainers in town, and
Absolutely.
UFC veteran. So
You've got a lot of Burger MMA guys on this card,
a couple of them we've got. We're trying to.
which can only be a good thing.
We're trying to get more and more on there all the time, and there's a lot. There's so many cards going on. It's hard to keep everybody always. Oh, we lost our webcam for a minute. Excuse me.
Oh, did he kick it? It won't come back. We'll take care of that after the works. All right. So anyway, why don't we use this opportunity to take a little break, and when we come back, we'll have the webcam working again. Right now, we'll take a little bit musical break. This is Sooner Than Later with Last Chance.